It's the video y'all been waiting for, and with y'all, I mean probably just Bandit, which probably will watch this video and only him, but I wanted to make this video honestly. And it's been a while since the Barbie movie came out, and probably the hype or the I guess area for commentary videos, it's low key fading, but I don't care. Well, I clearly care because I just mentioned it, but I want to make my critique, and I just want to because I like giving a rundown of my first impressions, like what I remember in a chronological order. But then in my videos, there's always a point where I start forgetting the chronological order and I just start rambling. So that's gonna be the format of the video, I guess. So enjoy. Okay, so I still remember when the Barbie movie was announced, and there was like no shots about it, no trailers, no leaked footage. It was very early on. I think I still had Twitter. I don't remember. But I remember that I was excited at first because as I was discussing in the very early days of the movie with Bandit, like they had so much to work with. Not only all the changes Barbie went through as a doll, but all the different costumes, all the different storylines they could discover and explore. And I personally wanted something like the Lego movie that is 90% of the movie, or even 95% of the movie, is like celebrating Lego, celebrating all the things that it can build, all the iconic sets, the iconic characters, but also adding new characters, new sets, new things. And it has like a storyline inside the fictional world, but to make it memorable and to tie it all in with the audience and the customer, that last 5%, it was about the kid that plays with the Legos, and it was cute. I liked it, right? But it felt organic, it felt nice, it felt very much not only a celebration, but without rubbing it in your face about how we're such a great toy and everyone loves us. No, just like this means a lot to a kid, period. Right? That's what I thought, or at least wanted the Barbie movie to be. Yeah, it's a celebration about the doll in the Barbie world with a Barbie storyline, and then later on we can have a little wink, or even a full-on hello to the fourth wall or the audience or the customer, because you gotta tie it all up, at the end. So that's what I wanted, that's what I thought we were getting. But then things started getting I started getting a sense that that wasn't what we were gonna get. Why? Because things started leaking, and one of the first things was Barbie and Ken, Ryan and Margot being filmed in California and with roller skates, you know and I was immediately like, No, please don't make this be I don't know, princess from a fantasy world goes to the real world and discovers that not everything is fine, not everything is perfect, and that humans are actually complex. That was my first thought. I was like, please don't let it be that, right? Please don't. That would be awful. But then, um, I read the plot, and it was literally that. And this was before the trailers, but there was already a plot that was like, Barbie goes to the real world. Pause. Real world. You lost me there. I'm sorry, you lost me there. Like, I'm such a judgy person. I judge ahead of time, but I still do it because I'm usually right. So, and like in this part, in this time, I was like, there's no way you can pull off a cool like escapism, um, or a movie about escapism in the real world. So I was immediately like, I don't trust in the vision. I don't trust in the plot. Um, and especially because later on you discover things like actually the Barbie role was going to go to Amy Schumer. Why? Literally, why? Who asked for that? It's just stupid. But yeah, there we go. So I still had a little bit of hope. Maybe it's gonna be a cool I don't know, time travel movie about Barbie going through all her phases and being like, I don't know, um yeah, I was problematic and I made like some shitty stuff, kind of in like a lighthearted but serious way. But like, what matters is what I am today. I don't know. Even that plot, I would have critiqued it and hated it a little bit, but I don't know. It would have been something. Instead, whatever the fuck we got is something that I really didn't like. And it's wild to me how it seems like the only people that are disliking and hating on the movie are like misogynistic, homophobic conservatives. Like, where's the nuance? Where's the adult conversations, right? It's just like anything remotely feminist, all the women like, and all the men hate. Where's the conversation? Where's the shades of gray? I've seen some videos. I haven't seen them yet because I don't like my opinion getting influenced before doing a review. I may look at them later about white feminism, I think, which yeah, the movie is very white. So, you know. So, I don't know how to structure this video because as you guys know, I make it all up along the way. I don't script these bullshit ass videos. So, I don't know if I can start off by the plot, the characters, the feminism, my thoughts about how they showcased some aspects about race and politics. I say we start off with the simple, the basics, okay? The most easy to digest stuff. So, the plot. Let's talk about the plot of Barbie. Um, I don't usually go over it unless it's important to my point. So, assuming that all of you have seen it, um, because if I miss a little detail, then it's gonna be like, what's the point of making whatever? What I think about the plot, right? Um, so Barbie wants to meet who's playing with her, right? Because she's having all these un Barbie like feelings and thoughts and I guess characteristics appearing in her body and shit. She's becoming a real human. But how? Oh my god, right? So she needs to go to the real world, and so she does with Ken. And Ken learns about the patriarchy, and Barbie meets this little girl, which is the daughter of the woman that is not even playing with her. She's just like drawing realistic versions of Barbie that are influencing like how she is in the Barbie world. Um so then Barbie is like, "Oh, come to the Barbie world, right?" So they go to the Barbie world, but oh no, the Barbie world is infected by patriarchy. So now they gotta make a plan to make all the Barbies that were like perfectly normal, feminist, um, I guess, fair, smart Barbies that now are like um victims of the patriarchy, like smart again and like to defeat the Kens. And so they defeat them, and then Barbie becomes a real human, and the story ends. That was like a quick rundown, right? So let's go part by part. First of all, I don't like the whole concept about there being a Barbie world and there being a real world. Now, there's something I realized that I do, that is like noticing little details about the world building that only matter to me, that are not necessarily important or affect the events or the um, plot, I guess, development on the story, but they still matter to me. So first, open like the opening scene, right? It says like the Barbies thought that they like ended misogyny and like gender inequality and all the shit. So that is already establishing that the Barbies knew about this stuff. They're aware that there's shit like that in the real world, and their version is that they ended it, right? Of course, that's play for laughs, like, oh, imagine if a dog could end all of that, ha ha ha, right? So they think that, and they live in their little world. So that that makes me ask a lot of questions, like, when did they think that they ended misogyny and the patriarchy? The moment they were created? If so, if the moment they were created, they already believed they ended with misogyny, then there was no time where they lived through it. If there's a Barbie world, does that mean there's other toys worlds? Who can enter the Barbie world? Who cannot? If you really just make all those steps to go to the Barbie world, then wouldn't it be more crowded? Things like that that you probably see in like the film theorist. Is that the name of the YouTube channel? Film theory, right? Yeah, shit that nobody cares about, but I still find annoying because, okay, let's pretend that none of those world building aspects matter, right? This is about Barbie. This is about being a human and the relationship that humans have with Barbies. Okay, so in this big Barbie world, why is only two of them being like affected in a different way from the other Barbies, right? Like there's weird Barbie and there's then stereotypical Barbie. And the stereotypical Barbie is thinking about death. And weird Barbie is just weird, I guess. So the other ones have like normal quote unquote owners that never have complex feelings and emotions, or only the only stereotypical Barbie's owner have those complex feelings and emotions. Why aren't there more weird Barbies? Right? You could count stereotypical Barbie as a weird Barbie when the movie is like around its third act or second act, like things like that. And I'm like, okay, okay. Yet again, ignore them, right? Let's pretend they don't matter. So Barbie wants to be normal again. So everyone's like, yeah, go to the real world. Good luck, girl, right? So they go off to the Barbie world, and that's when she notices, oh wait, what the fuck? Like people are being weird, right? People are being like looking at me weirdly and cut calling me things, and of course Ken is like, wait, why do they respect me and shit? So here's where one of my problems with the movie begin. That's just like the seed um for what we'll see further on the movie, right? But like as a concept, as a scene independently from the movie, okay, that's good. Like parallels, right? Like, wait, why am I being so respected? Why this is great? And Barbie's like, no, this is not great. Like, where's the equality, right?
Hi, editing me right now. So about the thing I said that there's like a good parallel, I thought about it a little bit more, and no, it isn't, because that's literally just the breeding ground. Like that scene when they go to California, to set up how the Kents feel like they're being in some way oppressed or in some way disadvantaged, you know. And then um my argument is that's a weird, like, parallel to, for example, feminism. But then you'll say, like, how is that a parallel to feminism? Well, Ken literally says to Barbie after she lost everything and everything is so misogynistic in the Barbie world. Ken is like, oh, it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good to be left behind and shit. And it's like, what are you trying to convey, right? Because Barbie actually feels bad and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you know? And it's like, again, if these were real people, yeah, I would get it. But this is just such a straw man scenario. Like, this would never happen. And I was thinking so hard, like, why would they make this stupid ass, like, storyline for the Kents? But then I realized, of course, they need to sell more cans. They need to sell more cans. And Alan's, of course. But yeah, that's my editing part.
That we fought so hard to achieve, which is like it started as a joke, but throughout the movie, I don't feel like that's very challenged. But anyways, so as we said, Ken goes off to the library and starts reading about the patriarchy and basically how it benefits him, because one of his motivations is that Ken has always been like the pet, right? Um, of Barbie. He isn't his own person. He doesn't even have his own house. He's just a boyfriend. So he feels like it's enough. Which, personally, I feel like you could have made a way more subtle and clever critique about toxic masculinity in the movie, instead of making like the perfectly fine character that was just like a comedic relief sidekick, like funny cute boyfriend, into this super radical misogynist, just for him to teach himself and the others again that no, wait, this is not okay. It just felt too random, right? Like, bro went through all the stages of radicality. What? Radical. I don't know how to say the word, but you know the alt right pipeline. He went through all the stages in the movie, and I was. We'll get to that. But here's when one of my least favorite parts came from the movie, which made me remember not even the movie and what it's trying to say, but like the director. And you know it's bad. You know it's bad when you see a movie and you think of the director and you're like, oh, this bitch, you know. So Barbie has this vision because she has. They never explain it. She just has like powers, I guess, or whatever. She just feels it, right? So she goes to this school where, like I said, is like the daughter of the woman that's like making head canons for Barbie. Um, and like they used to play together when she was younger, but she's now cool, too cool for school for that, so she's not doing it anymore. Barbie comes and she's like, "Oh hi, I'm Barbie," and everyone's like, "Ha, fuck you, bitch," and she's like, "Why? Why? What's going on? All I wanted to do is bring happiness and whatever." And here's one of the things that I hate a lot about movies is this little shit, the girl, the daughter. She starts going, "Because you have made every woman feel insecure, and you are just a white capitalistic, I don't know, bitch who makes a lot of overproduction and makes fast fashion a problem," something like that. She goes on in like this rant, like critique after critique after critique, which the movie kind of frames like attack after attack after attack. And to end it all up, she just goes, "Fascist." What? What are we doing? Like, I hate this technique where it's like we grab this super annoying character, way better if it's a young girl because audiences hate young girls, and you knew that, Greta. You knew that, Greta. Something something about scenes like this, I don't know why, make me think the writers or the directors were determinedly aligned. They were too for too long on Twitter, right? But my problem with this is like you just hearing her and going, "Oh, she's so annoying, she's just like saying stupid thing after another stupid thing," and then she just says some super dumb thing that Barbie wouldn't be, like a fascist. Fuck this little girl. And it's like, no, her her attacks, which is critiques, were super valid, you know. And you know what makes it even more valid? She's a doll. She's a brand. Behind her, there's a white CEO that, yeah, the movie tries to poke fun at. I'll get to it. Is not a woman, is not a pretty Margot Robbie woman with feelings that cries in such a pretty way, in her little glittery tears falling down her rosy cheeks. No, it's a fucking toy. So, making Margot Robbie cry, of course, the audience will be against that little kid, you know? And like, if you, Greta, I'm talking to you, Greta, if you actually cared about these critiques, you would make it fleshed out. You would give it a space to breathe, a space to show how these critiques have weight, have value, not just vomit them all up. And so the audience, they're not listening, they're just hearing. So they can go like, wow, people really are very sensitive these days. Like, and if that wasn't your fucking intention, then I know what it was. It was going, well, maybe the little girl has some points, but does it really matter when there's people like her mother that had so much fun with them and have very nice feelings and memories with them? Does it really matter? Does it matter that we are destroying the environment and making so many products that are like physically crazy to have in a store? Does it really matter if we made some girls happy? Like, shut the fuck up. For real, shut the fuck up. So, like, I hated the scene so much. So she's crying and shit, and that's where the mom appears. Ah, and of course, Ryan is now a misogynist. He read too much. He read a lot of books. Um, so she, for some reason, is like, "Oh yeah, Barbie, come with us." And Barbie's like, "Oh my god, are you guys sure? Whatever." I'm pretty sure they have like this chasing. I don't remember. Because at some point Mattel gets Barbie. Yes, Mattel gets Barbie, right? Yes, yeah, now I remember. Mattel gets Barbie, and the mom sees this, and she's like, I don't remember if she sees it, but she'll meet with Barbie because she works at Mattel, right? But that's not important. Details like that doesn't matter. Don't matter. The point is that she is captured by Mattel because they heard about the Barbie. They know that she's out of the world, of her world, you know. So they're trying to return her, right, to her world. And this part was in the trailer when it's like Will Ferrell and he's like this big goofy bad boss, right? I don't think he's even like completely framed as a bad CEO, just like a very out of touch CEO, you know? I call this the Lorax effect. I saw a video the other day, it was very good, about it. I don't remember who made it, but it had such a simple premise with such a good like critique. That is basically talking about how much the Lorax movie would have changed if they just kept one of the songs from the original soundtrack that is called Biggering, you know, but they ended up using the How Bad Can I Be one. And in the Biggering song, the Onceler is like, yes, I know I'm doing all this fucked up shit and I'm gonna keep going because we need to increase the sales, increase the money. I don't give a fuck if I'm the one that is like winning, right? Which is like, of course, for the production company that is making the movie, of course that's gonna be too dark and too real, you know. So of course they're gonna keep How Bad Can I Be, because it's like this silly goofy, oh, is the fault really on me? I'm just trying to make a living, you know, which is more marketable. As she said in the video, you can sing it along while you're like cleaning or whatever, like how bad can I be? But the other song, you cannot sing it in a casual way because it's just too real, you know. So they had to make O'Hare, the villain of the Lorax, too goofy. Too goofy. He's this small man child with a weird like haircut. He's not threatening to the people that are funding the movie, because otherwise where did we get the money? How could we, right? They did the same with the Mattel CEO, because at the end of the day, Mattel is making the movie. So doing this super out of touch guy that is like, no, of course we had women in the company, like that one time we had in, actually, I don't remember. And the audience goes, ha ha ha. It's funny because it's true. They don't remember the importance of the female CEOs and directors in the company because it's male centric. Which, yes, you making fun or poking fun at it doesn't change the fact that it's there, you know?
That's not the only time that that happens. That we acknowledge that this is a problem, so we are free from critics, I guess. You're not free from me. This happens again with the little girl around the end of the movie when she's like, "You go, Barbie, white savior," or something like that. Like being like, "Yeah, we get it. Our protagonist is white, and she apparently saves the day. So you cannot critique. So you cannot make that critique now." And Barbie goes, "But it wasn't me though. It was your mom. The woman of color." Huh? And it's like, bro, that doesn't make it any better. Like, you still, in a way, like, by learning how to be human and, ending with misogyny, in a way, you're being the white savior somehow. And if really the mom was like the actual savior, that doesn't make it any better, because it's like, again, as I explained in the video, this person of color teaching these plastic dolls how to be human and how to realize that the patriarchy affects them. So it's problematic either way. Just don't make a movie where a doll becomes a human, a white doll. Like that premise on its own sounds normal, I guess. But like when you take into consideration the context, about the company, about the effect that doll had on the culture, then you can start poking holes at it.
It's like, I'm gonna give a stupid example, but like, if it would also imagine that I cheat in a physics exam or something, right? And everyone knows I cheated, and they're aware. They just mention it within themselves. They have said it to me, but I don't care. But then the next day comes, and I'm just like, huh, I guess I would never cheat on an exam. Oh wait, that's right. Oh no, never mind. I wouldn't. Imagine if I cheated, right? Just like poking fun at it, like, oh, at least she's self-aware. Doesn't change the fact that I cheated. Also, I'm not saying that cheating is bad. I think that you should do it. Cheat. If you need to cheat, cheat on your exam. Those teachers mean shit. Anyways, that's my example, right? And they do that a lot. Um, just like the critics are coming to us, to the company, to the toy. Yeah, we acknowledge you, but you wouldn't say that to me, right? Oh, come on. I'm just such a pretty girl. Which is like, I knew that was gonna be the perspective of the movie because Mattel is funding it. And I know who you are, Greta. I saw Ladybird. Your feminism is so superficial and so one note. You were the perfect candidate. You were perfect. Perfect for this. You're the same director that made your protagonist say, not because it's ugly, it means it's morally wrong when talking about abortion. I don't think any pro choice person would use that argument, but okay, and that's coming from me. I'm pro choice, obviously. But, anyways, um, yeah, the Mattel thingy. So like all the businessmen are too goofy, like they act like little oompa loompas of the um chocolate factory. Like you cannot believe that's a real person making real decisions for the company. So you don't take it seriously, right? So then Barbie's like, oh my god, there's no women here, like running the system or whatever. Which the way I like my interpretation of that moment is like, not I'm gonna run away from Mattel because they definitely don't care about their equality in the workspace. I interpreted that more in this is not my status quo. My status quo is having a female president. I need to run. That's my interpretation of that scene, but you can see it however you want, right? Instead of a real, like, wow, the real world has some serious issues, it's more like, I prefer my world, goodbye. So she runs away from Mattel. I think that's the scene where she's saved by that one girl with her daughter. um yeah, so they go back to the Barbie world. Why? I don't fucking remember. I don't care. Okay. They go back to the Barbie world, and again, as I mentioned in the beginning, the Kens have ruled over because they learned about the patriarchy. Now, here is where, as I put it in my own words, the movie has like an identity crisis. Because is this movie about the journey of Barbie in the real world, learning about the differences between the humans and the Barbies? Or is this a story about a satirical take on Ken taking over the control after being put aside for so long and being like cartoonishly misogynistic and then getting his heart broken in a very goofy way? Which is it? Which is it? Because having one storyline enter another one out of nowhere, it felt a little bit out of the blue, right? So I did not understand that. But sure, you wanna critique toxic masculinity, um, which one of my critiques would be, how can you critique someone or something, a concept or whatever, if you're making it like making it, you know showing it like a caricature of itself. Like, people are not gonna take you seriously if you make like a caricature of something, because they will see at that and say, that's not me. That's an exaggeration of a part of me that I do not want to accept. But I overestimated the men because they got offended either way. Even if it's like a caricature, so exaggerated, like exaggeration gone to 100%, they still felt, hey, that's me. That misogynistic guy is me. So now I'm mad, right? So, like, I'm just looking at the misogynistic man and the big Hollywood guys, and I'm like, oh my god, like, oh, y'all are weird. Obviously, the men are worse than a company making a movie. Well, I will have to think about that one. But either way, um, yeah, I felt so out of nowhere, especially when technically the Barbies have like a dance moment, but they're not singing. They're just dancing. But the Kens have a whole ass song. Like, Ryan Gosling gets, which, look, I love Ryan Gosling. He is my wife. He birthed my children. One of those being Polly, my cat. So I love my wife. I love Ryan Gosling. And I do love that they let him sing because he had a little band. I don't know if it was like only him. I'm pretty sure he had other members in his band, but he sings, He's good at it. So it was nice that they allowed him to sing. But this is the Barbie movie. This is the Barbie movie. Why are we putting so much screen time into the cans? Like, that felt so unnecessary, honestly. But as much as I hate to admit it, that's what happens when you have like a um high profile celebrity in your movie. Like, Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie got paid the same, but other characters that appeared more than Ryan Gosling got paid way way more, way lesser. Way less? I don't know. English is stupid. They didn't get paid as much. Imagine how much Will Ferrell got paid. Motherfucker was in the movie for like 3 scenes. And one of those was just like looking around, right? Like, but that's what happens when you have like um a system, a system with like how much you're gonna pay your actors based on their recognition, their popularity, all that stupid stuff. So I think that's the reason why we had so much focus on the Ken thing, but I'm still not over it. It's annoying and stupid. But anyways, um I know the movie didn't want to frame this moment like this. That's just how I saw it. But throughout the whole movie is this brown woman, this woman of color, teaching pretty blonde white Barbie how to be human, and like validating her feelings and validating all her sadness and disappointment towards all this criticism, right? And she's just validating her and being like, no, it's fine, you're great, you're this, you're that. And something I didn't like about that character, maybe it's not her the problem, it's more the way they used her to paint a narrative. that when she went to the Barbie world, the mom, she was like, "Oh my god, I remember that house. I got it when I was little. We were so poor. I just, I ate air, but I saved so much money and finally got it." And like, again, I hate to bring this motherfucker up, but Bandit and I, we were talking about that, like, specific little lines about the struggle of poverty, but finally getting that Barbie, finally getting that toy, and how the movie, like, kind of centers the accomplishment into you got the Barbie, like, despite everything, you got what you wanted. When in reality, when our moms that have gone through this, when they tell you stories like this, is more like the satisfaction of the journey, the journey they went through, not really the doll, right? The doll is the least important part. It's more about the fact that you got it, right? Because even if you're like struggling, there's always like hope, right? Which is a little too real for the movie, because one of the other things that I hate about this movie is how it centers, that's how I read it. It centers like this companionship with women and this union with women, all based and spinning around this doll, this toy, right? Like Barbie is joining all women together. We're holding hands and being happy that feminism exists, and we can symbolize that with a toy, a beautiful doll that can be any of us. No, no, that's not what feminism is about. Feminism is not grabbing one object and being like, this is all of us. Feminism is being, we are everything and we are nothing at the same time. When I say we're nothing at the same time, I mean we're not a single face. We're not a single body, a single story, a single struggle. And when I say everything, it's because we're all of it. We're so different, and what makes us such a powerful movement and ideology and way of life is just the principle of it. How you take the feminism and to yourself, and how you use that feminism not only for yourself but to build a community where other women, femmes, non-binary people, etc., feel safe and secure. That's why TERFs aren't feminist, for example, because yeah, the first part of this feminist I guess, structure that I'm thinking in my mind, which is how you give it your personal interpretation. They gave it their own interpretation, which is being transphobic and don't accepting trans women. But then they fail at being feminist because they don't got the building a community where other women feel safe, where you're accepting all women. They're not accepting all women. They're picking and choosing what accommodates to their own imperialistic ideas, their white colonial ideas, which is. But anyway, I went off the rails. The point is that it felt so superficial and so shallow, and I don't know. It felt weird. Having this toy transform into a real person gave me like a weird message from the movie, actually, um and apart from that weird message, it, of course, as I said, shields her from criticism, from all the things that are worth taking like a look and a little reflection on, you know so, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Even if the movie tries to tell you that, yeah, there's like good experiences, so we should take those into consideration, even if they had good experiences, that isn't the same for the little girl that got like I don't know, um very bad eating disorders from seeing all the Barbie promo in the 80s or the 70s. That doesn't excuse um the girl that when she got a Barbie, she was sad because it wasn't the same skin tone as her. You know? Things like that. But that's what you get when you have a big ass company in a white feminist. And I don't mean it in a race way, in a white capital W way, white feminist. They make a movie. That's what you get. um so I wanted to save some things like, oh wait, I'm still not over the things that I didn't like about the movie. This is more technical stuff, but pacing, horrendous. I hated the pacing. The pacing was all over the place, and it felt so whoop, 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 out of nowhere. Either some moments were too long, or either others were like so short. And next thing. I didn't like that. The comedy. I could talk about this. I could talk about the bad comedic timing. I could talk about how awkward some of the laughs were at the theater I went to. I could talk about how they didn't have a good sense of script versus actual filming the scene. But all I'm gonna say is that there was gonna be a scene where there was gonna be a fart opera, but of course they had to take it out because nobody found that funny in like the original screenings. If that doesn't tell you anything, plus the fact that Barbie was gonna be Amy Schumer, I don't know what to tell you. Um, other technical stuff is the I could talk about my pie theory about how big budget movies and projects spend so much money in the production so that audiences that don't have like experience with actual like media comprehension can look at something pretty and go, "Oh, that's cool. Let's go watch it." Which is not a bad thing, you know. Sometimes you just want to make your mind go to sleep and watch something entertaining because it looks pretty, right? That's why Wes Anderson. Okay, we will not get into that. Fuck that dude. But yeah, so like I feel like that's why I think they put so much money into the production, and why the money that is left for the writers, for the to pay all their workers, it's so low that it's like, why are we bothering to make a good movie? That's my theory. I could talk about that, but I mean, I just did. Um, okay, I think we can finally talk about the cultural phenomenon. Yeah. So I saw some people being like, "Oh, this was so nice because it was like such a moment to bring all the women together. We were all wearing pink and sobbing at the theater." Look, I don't want to be a party pooper, but you guys know how I feel about capitalism. I just don't want to picture all these people, not only women, people, because some of y'all will use any excuse to shit on women. Like, no, everyone went to go to see the Barbie movie, not just women. But a lot of people buying pink stuff, pink accessories, Barbies that are new because they forgot about Barbies until the movie came out, and now they're like, oh, actually, let's go buy them. All the people that are buying all this merch and shit. I don't want to think of all of that because that's overproduction. Just like that little stupid girl said, which, by the way, at some point in the movie, she started loving her mom and being like, yeah, let's rescue Barbie out of nowhere, which felt so okay, you know? Oh, also, the addition of Ruth, the creator of Barbie, to being like, yeah, all your critiques about Barbie not being realistic. Well, look at me. I'm an old woman. You really think that I wouldn't make a perfect Barbie because I thought that's what I don't know, women should look like or actually look like. No, I'm not perfect. I think I already explained why that doesn't justify anything. Or it's a gotcha to any argument. It isn't. But anyways, all the merch that has come from this movie is ludicrous. And I'm using this movie in specific because there's always gonna be merch for any movie. The merch for this movie, bro, bro, it's too much. Too much. I hate overconsumption. Overconsumption. Um I don't like it even though we all partake on it. I It's just too much, you know? And seeing all of these aesthetics that are coming up the movie and oh yeah, the pink because pink is feminism and feminism means union. It's like no, this is so fake. This feels so fake, and yet it's awesome seeing women being happy for once. But are we really gonna be happy and finally getting our feelings validated by a toy? Are we listening to ourselves? Come on. And I know some people wouldn't give a shit about a feminist movie if it didn't have the face of a pretty white woman that we all know, Margot Robbie, and a brand that we all know, Barbie. But even then, it's like, I don't know. I feel like we can do so much better. But yeah, I just needed to get my opinions out because that's what I do. Um, I feel like I could nitpick in every detail of the movie, but that's excessive and unnecessary. What did I like about the movie? Oh, Ryan Gosling abs. Loved seeing him shirtless. Hmm. What else? I don't know actually. I'd say that because I really like most things that are like feminist to an extent, but when it feels very one note, when it feels very shallow and um, you know, corporate, I don't feel anything, you know? Even my mom who played with Barbies was like, yeah, this wasn't my jam. I didn't really like this, which is insane to hear from her, but there you go. But yeah, I don't think I have anything left to say. I guess we just need more feminist movies and we need men to stop crying about it. Yeah. Made by independent studios, independent directors. I don't know. Bitch, I don't know anything. I'm literally just another person in the internet with strong opinions. So, you know what I say at the end of every movie, every video. Go follow me on Instagram if you want to. You can be part of this journey that I call my artistic development. Um, Go like and subscribe and think for yourself, honestly. So, yeah.